Hey, here we go. We're going three events, three big events coming up on the horizon, and it should be darn exciting. And I wonder if we could actually make all three things, I don't know, become that common thread, all kind of work together in their own little crazy way. Well, I tend to think so. You know what happened last year, and that was unique as it went. Let me tell you, you just never know. You never know what the future holds, and sometimes it can be really exciting. And I think overall that is absolutely the message. If we take a look at these things that we do, ask why we do them. Have friends of yours ask why are you getting involved in something like that. Why do you do that? If it takes too long to come up with an answer, well, then maybe you really shouldn't be doing it. If it just rolls off the tip of your tongue, well, that's a different story. And of course, there's always that balance in there. It's like, well, how many things can you really get involved with that make sense? Well, sometimes too many things you can get involved with as it goes. But as I was talking to somebody else about the why are we here kind of a thing. Why are we here? What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, really, what are we doing? Are we all here working for that illustrious paycheck? Are we all here to try to change the world, the entire world? Well, that's a challenge and a half, is it not? The question is, are we looking to change and better ourselves? Are we looking to change and better those of our family and friends, our loved ones? Are we looking to better change, improve upon our community? Actually, I think it's that. I do think it's a matter of that everyday kind of thing. Try to better that world, our own little world that we're in, because to change the outside world is very hard. So it definitely has to start from within. And it goes to the what is it that you do that gets you excited about life, that gets you excited about not only helping yourself grow but helping others around you grow too. That really becomes important, and that is also a a nice way to get and continue to be motivated. Still trying to figure out the exact camera angle over here, and I think we got to fix that just a little bit. So I keep moving things around. Although this is a nice, relaxing, relaxing way to sit, so it might just work. But my wife likes the panel, the brick background. We'll work on that whole thing. I don't know. It's gonna work through the green screen. I actually like a real background, so I may just go with a real background. Get a brick something back there. Hey, Mike, good afternoon to you. Mike, you know how to put bricks on a wall? Just say yes. Say yes. We'll make that happen. But that's really what I think it is. Otherwise, it's just like so frustrating. You watch the news, it's like, oh man, really? Why is it that you do? Okay, you're in then, But if you watch the news, it's like, what is it? What is with this world? Why is it that we can't figure out a way to get along? Why is it that we can? And I'm talking very, very big picture here. Why is it that we can't figure out a way to help each other move forward in what's going on? There's so many injustices that are out there, big scale stuff. It's like, why? Why? Doug, good afternoon to you. Why is that? I don't know. I wish I knew. I was just watching a video before these YouTube videos about it was about the beginning stages of World War II and communications that were going back and forth behind the scenes, not just in front of the scenes, behind the scenes, which we're now learning more and more about since so many years have passed. It's like, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder what we do or what people do in order to change the minds of others to get involved in different things. So that's kind of where that goes. But that's what it is. And I think as long as we're all acting with the best of intentions, then you know what? Then it's fine to do. Still got to understand what's coming from that other person's point of view. But it is fine if we're all trying to help each other get better. Hmm, what a fuck cry that is, right? That's sad to say. But what about internally? What about that? Our world that surrounds us much closer. That community that surrounds us. Where does that begin? You can't go out and help other people unless you help yourself. Flat out. It just has to start from within. Without a doubt. And you've all heard that analogy. Oh, you're in an airplane and the plane loses uh, the airflow, right? And then the air cups come down. Obviously, I'm not a pilot. What am I looking for? Anyhow, the air mask come down. So what do? Do you put it on yourself first, or you put it on the child that you're with first? Well, I know instinctively, I think we don't put it on the kid first, but the reality is you probably put it on yourself first because you need to be able to function and function properly and function in a manner that's going to be helpful to others. And I think that same thing kind of holds true in our day-to-day lives. We don't need to be in an airplane losing air pressure. There we go. That's the word. Thanks. Losing air pressure and the air mass come down. So it needs to come from here. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Let's just say it's always some sort of a kind of a daily challenge. And then how do we do it? And you've seen videos that are out there. The one was the Marine gave the example of the importance of making one's bed in the morning. It's like, okay, here, ultimate fighting warrior, and he's talking about making your bed. Really? Does it really matter? Well, in his opinion, the answer was yes, it really does matter because it shows that, or it gives you that feeling you've accomplished something throughout the day. And that's really, where it comes from. You know, for all of us, what is it that we do on a day to day basis that helps us gain that feeling of accomplishment that we can then go and work toward other things and go toward bigger and bigger goals and then go out there and truly help others in achieving their goals, in making them more successful, in giving them that confidence level, that power to go out there and create and to do. Sometimes it's as simple as making your bed in the morning. Something I do. I make the bed in the morning. So may not be perfect, may not be up to military standards, but I still make sure that I leave that room clean and neat in the morning. To try and do the same thing in the office, try to keep it clean and neat, keep it much more organized. This way, I'm able to be that much more efficient. Last story, and then I want to go to the three different topics over here. Is I'm trying to improve. This was years ago. Is I was trying to improve upon my efficiency over the course of the day. Sounds fancy, right? In other words, I was like, I don't know what I did over the course of the day. I was like, where did my time go? Where did the day disappear to? I felt like I walked in, sat down, and then came out at the end of the day. It's like, what did I really do? And it's not like I'm sitting there on an assembly line or that I'm physically building something. So I didn't have that physical thing to show for whatever it is that I've accomplished. It was much more was much more paperwork and stuff like that and approving things. So it was always being, I did it and then it moved away. So I never saw it. It wasn't like I had a pile of did you do pile that then became the it's done pile. It's not physically there. So I didn't know a way of kind of measuring that. So I was listening to one of these business books and they had suggested that you keep a time log. I'm like, wow, what a unique idea that is. All right, maybe it wasn't terribly unique, but I did it. I kept that time log. And what I found is that I was wasting a lot of time looking for things. So if I was more organized, I wouldn't spend the time looking for things, not getting things. I'm talking about looking for things. Where did I put that piece of paper? What was that filed under? Those kinds of things. Hey, maybe the same thing holds true. You can change the word paper to electronic document, but still the same thing. Keeping it organized. Your room. Keeping your room organized in one. This way you know where all your clothes are. You know where everything is. Your office. Keeping that organized. This way you're not searching through stuff that's hiding other things. Now you know exactly where it is. So I kept that time log. And what I learned from that time log is that I was wasting too much time looking for something, not actually doing something. So there is a lot to be said about keeping yourself organized, doing something, whatever small thing that is that you do in order to keep yourself moving forward, because that'll give you the confidence. And in that case, it also gave me much more time. It was something between 30 and 45 minutes each and every day that I wasted looking for stuff. But if you're able to operate more efficiently, you're able to do different things. But if you're able to operate more confidently, and that's really what the whole thing comes down to. If you're able to operate more confidently, then you're able to do much more than you can ever imagine. Boom, get up in the morning, room's clean. Boom, walk in the office, you know where everything is. Boom, you get started, you turn on the computer, you got your list of 3, 5, 10 things to do over the course of the day. Where did that list come from? It came from some of the things that you were asked to do in the prior day that you haven't gotten to, that you didn't have time to do, that you didn't plan to do that day, but you plan to take on the next day and make it work that way. So you walk it in and you know exactly where you're going. You know what happens is that you accomplish so much more. You want to layer that in with something else, like as in, oh, I can only work a half a day today because I'm taking the afternoon off. What happens? You get your entire day's worth of work done in the morning. Why? Because you're working much more efficiently, specifically, and not getting distracted with things. And then you're able to go on to achieve different things and take on different projects. That's where that goes. All right, so here are the things that are coming up that are big picture things that are exciting to me. Let's put it that way. Definitely exciting to me, and I think these are things that I will be getting involved with. One of them, the Hauppauge Industrial Association, they announced they're going to hold their trade show in May, just like they did. Well, it seems like years ago already, but they're going to have the trade show in May. It is going to be the same way it has always been in the past, except for masks. You have to wear masks as it stands right now, and I'm sure that'll remain. But they're going to have it physical, in person, people with boots trade show. It's going to be back at the school too, so it'll be a much larger auditorium, and they're getting the first committee meetings are getting started on that one. If you're interested, you're going to reach out to Anthony or anybody over at the HIA to see what the plans are going forward. They are looking to, and here's the actionable side with it. One, if you're interested in taking a table, you know, certainly have spaces available. I'm not even sure they've announced altogether too much yet when it comes to that. But the tables are available, so you can do that. Other sponsorship possibilities are there too. Don't know what the specifics are, but they're certainly there. If you're interested in spending money in order to get your name out, I'm sure they'll figure out a way to work with you in order to make that happen. So you got the booths. If you're interested in speaking, what they are going to be doing again this year, which has happened in the past, but they're going to be doing a number of breakout sessions over the course of the day. Again, I don't have the number. I'll have all the stuff as we continue to move forward. But they're going to have breakout sessions throughout the day. The breakout sessions are on topics that are appealing to the masses. So nothing super specific, but these would be topics that are appropriate to a larger group of people in a couple of different categories. Man, my personal opinion there, you don't want to go too big, because if it's too big, we can go, oh, we're going to talk about marketing. I was like, in what respect? In what respect? We're going to talk about digital marketing. Okay. I think that's a valid topic. You want to talk about digital marketing, go figure out the people that are attending this thing that will take the time over the course of the day. Maybe it's digital marketing for the 3 to 20 employee company, something something along those lines. That kind of topic. So if you have any topic ideas, you want to reach out to the HIA and speak to them about that. The discussion groups, the breakout sessions, they're looking to do them as panel discussions, or at least they're favoring to do them as panel discussions. So, if you got a couple of folks that you're involved with that are in a complementary market, complementary industry, and you want to do a panel discussion, not a bad thing to do. I don't think they're going to be recording them. They did the ones that were online. If it's in person, I'm going to venture to say the answer to that is no, but you're certainly free to do that. Don't know about live streaming and anything like that, but certainly get the video. Great video content for all you website developers out there that you're pushing your customers to go get content. Push them to do this panel discussion. And they can get video clips from everybody, capture some audio, get a couple of still photos in there too, and, make it work that way. So that would be something that is on your agenda if you're interested. So sponsor or do the panel discussion. The attendee side of it too. The attendees, obviously, it's going to be the same thing. It's $10 to attend if you don't register in advance. You're going to register in advance. No issue when it comes to that. But here is also what's going on there. And this is a great way for you to get in front of more people prior to, is that there's a Facebook group page. The Facebook group page is for the HIA trade show, the annual trade show. I'll put a link up with this, afterwards. But the annual trade show. So you can go on there and you can start communicating with the other attendees, potential attendees for this. That Facebook group page is designed for the attendees to be able to communicate with each other. So it's a great way for you to network without leaving your home, without leaving your office, and just do it digitally, which is all going to go back to the same other stuff I got over there. When you put down a link, you're going to put the link to something that really gives a good explanation of what it is that you do, what it is that you're looking for from a networking standpoint. We're looking for potential clients, or you're looking for referral partners. Be real clear about that. And you can be real clear about that, in your post. If you're going to be taking a table or you're doing anything like that, sponsorship, certainly put that down. But, go there. It's not that group page, though, is not a place for you to sell stuff. It's a way for you to introduce you, either as a salesperson or as a referral partner, whatever. But it's a way for you to introduce you. Keep that one in mind. Okay, so the HIA trade show, that's the end of May, in person, all the rest of that. So we got that one. The other thing that is going on is going to be, believe it or not, we got drag racing coming back. Yes, and this is going to be pretty darn exciting. You're going to hear so much more about this one too. So the drag racing that took place last year for the very first, well, not for the very first time, but for the first time in 17 years. This was at the EPCAL Center. That is the Executive Park Air Park in Carrollton. So it's going to be at the same place. It's going to be on one of the larger runways. It's the last year was on the 6,000-foot runway. This one is on the 10,000-foot runway. I remember Carrollton back in the day was wasn't so much as it was an airport, it was a military airbase. So Grumman was out there, they were building the jets, they were flying the jets out of there all the time. So they've got some massive runways that are there. Got a 10,000-foot runway. What the setup is going to be this year is going to be mostly the same. Mostly the same. It's going to be an eighth of a mile track this year. It was an eighth of a mile track last year. The barriers along the raceway are going to be there. All the safety features are going to be there all across the board. If you're going to race your car, You certainly can. Last year there was mufflers were required. My guess is they're going to be mufflers required again this year. I have not gone through the tech items, but mufflers will be required. Some of the cars could still be loud, but mufflers required, and some of the cars were really quiet. So a few of the electric vehicles were down there last year, and they were flying down the track. Absolutely incredible. But it's eighth of a mile race, like always last year. You got the cars, you got to pass inspection. The fact that it's going to be on the 10,000-foot runway is really kind of exciting. Even though the race length is going to be the same, still at eighth of a mile. Here's the benefits of the bigger track. One, from an operational standpoint, there's electricity there, so that makes it a lot easier for the folks that are running it. It's going to be Pete and his team. The runway itself is going to be actually the pit area, so there's going to be a lot more space in the pit area, which also means the cars won't be as spread out as much as they were last year, which means you as a spectator are free to roam, and it's a lot less walking that you're going to need to do. So that'll be great. Bring your camera. It's just some phenomenal photos. You go on Facebook, there's a couple of group pages there too. The Long Island Needs a Drag Strip group page and Racetrack Not Street. Racetrack Not Street is the other Facebook page. Tons of photos that are up there. So the cars, so you'll be able to see the cars a lot easier because they're going to be closer. The dragway is actually going to be, I believe, the access road for the runway itself. So that should be great too. A lot easier to manage and a little bit closer to the electric and all the rest of that. So it's going to work out rather well from an organizational standpoint. The ticket prices are all the same. The challenge here with the tickets is that it will sell out. It did last year. They're limited to the amount of people that are going to be at the track on each and every day. So I think the number is 22 with 2,500 people. Let me tell you, that includes the drivers and whatever pit crew, families that are showing up. So you definitely want to get those tickets in advance. Looking at a few other ways of attending this thing in that digital format. We're going to let that hang as it stands right now. But the race is out there. Who can race? Anybody. You need a muffler on the car. The car has to pass safety inspections. It's not much. You need a helmet, seatbelt. You got to roll the windows up. Imagine convertibles might be a problem. You probably need some sort of a roof or roll cage or something like that. And there's a few other specifications that has to happen with it. So that needs to be there. That's all for safety's sake. Super important. The visibility side from you as a spectator, the seating area is going to be a bit bigger this year. We'll have more people, so it'll be a little bit bigger. So that'll be good. There'll be food trucks, bathroom facilities, all the rest of that stuff. So it'll be great. If the weather's good too, hopefully it is. It is just so much fun. I'm hoping that I get out there myself on a couple of different occasions and maybe we'll get a little bit of microphone time again. Last year they were kind enough to let me use the mic and announce the races for a period of time. So that was a whole lot of fun to go and do. So that's coming up. Again, I'll have a lot more information on it. Oh, and it's going to be 3 different sessions. So it is going to be a spring race, summer, and a fall race. So it is plenty of time, plenty of different opportunities for you to participate. And it's so great seeing these cars that are down there. Some of the cars are street cars. You got some Tesla cars, the electric vehicles that are out there. Some of them are really, truly street cars. If I wanted to take my car and go out to the track and race it, all I need is a helmet, and I think everything else will pass. No issue with that whole thing. I get to race my car. Is that realistic? Yeah, it's a drag strip, right? It is getting from point A to point B in the quickest and most efficient time also. So I won't have the fastest car there by far. Probably closer to the slowest car if I did that. But the thing that I'd be racing against anybody with is the reaction time. In other words, what's the time it takes for the light to go green and the car to get going. That reaction time, that's how fast I am, not how fast the car is. How fast the car is in an eighth of a mile? I don't know. I'd be curious if I got to 60 miles an hour. Who knows? Who knows? But who knows? Maybe I have a camera with me. I'll take you along for that ride. We'll let somebody else hold the camera. I'll hang on to the steering wheel there. Man, that should be a whole lot of fun. So now the question is, what about all these things? What's the common thread here from my perspective when it comes to a trade show with panel discussions, a trade show with that digital media that you're pushing out there, and then a trade show? What does that have to do with the car racing, with drag racing, and then drag racing? What does that have to do with me? Well, here's the connection with the whole the trade show. Great way to meet people, networking, all the rest of that stuff. Fantastic. But how does that work out with the drag racing? Here's how. Is because we need to continue to show our youth, our junior high, high school students, the possibilities that are out there when it comes to various vocational opportunities. And by highlighting what actually takes place at a drag racing track, eighth of a mile, not professional, but a weekend warrior kind of track. Here's the things that those students, if they came out to the track, would see. Okay, very obvious. They're going to see cars racing down the track. Very true. They're going to see some very old cars racing down the track. They're going to see some very new cars racing down the track. They're going to see electric vehicles and say, man, that's pretty damn exciting. I didn't know that car could do 115 miles an hour in an eighth of a mile and beat most of those other cars, the big combustion engine cars, traction control, the technology that's inside those cars. Fantastic. That might be exciting. And you'd be happy to know that Tesla actually sponsors kids, students, I should say, at some of the schools that we have here, Suffolk Community College. They have paid internships for students that are enrolled in the Suffolk Community College automotive program. I didn't know that. Let's go back to our older cars. What about that was a Dodge Hudson, I think it was. I mean, it's just this car was a beast, beast of a car. Wow, the historical impact of that thing. What about those that are into video and things like that that want to do documentaries? Interesting documentary that could be happening over there about the history of auto racing on Long Island. Don't know anything about it? Go take a look. That might be a catalyst right there. And what about some of the other hot rods that are there, or the rat rods that are over there, with these gorgeous paint schemes and pinstriping and other decals that are on there? So, what student might be interested in that? They may not give a darn about car racing, but they may love art. That might be an inspiration right there. The artwork that goes into it. In fact, there's one gentleman that I got to know that went to school for art. He now does detailing, but not only detailing on cars, he does detailing on airplanes. Yes, those private planes. Not a shabby career for somebody in vocational that followed a vocational path, right? It's there. So many things, let alone all the hands-on experience with the car, uh, blueprints, welding, sheet metal rolling, upholstery, all the rest of that, new safety features, all the rest of that. What about the track side of it? What about the organization of running a track, of running an event? You might get a few event planners down there. What's possible from the student side? Oh, everything is possible. That's why last year, the Long Island Needs a Dragster folks, they were kind enough and unbelievably enthusiastic about bringing some of the cars that they were racing and some of the street cars down to the HIA trade show. And they were able to show off those cars. And we had students from a number of schools attending it, including Oceanside, which their students brought a car that they're working on, a rat rod, and also a boat that they had built in a prior year down there. Who knows? Maybe those students did really what could be a complete game changer, and that's inspire you, the business owner, from supporting to support the vocational programs at these high schools, to support the whole idea of this thing, because we have an automotive industry on Long Island, we have an aircraft industry on Long Island, electronics, uh, plumbing, I mean, all kinds of things where we need people that want to work with their hands. And not only that, is that if you're building a car, what's the first thing you're going to do? The blueprint. You're going to do it on some sort of a program someplace. So it's the technology people that are also involved in this, everything. And the big common thread on my side of it too is that Toastmaster thing. Yeah, getting the confidence to communicate out. Getting the confidence to communicate out on a program like this. Getting the confidence to participate in those panel discussions at the HIA trade show. Maybe we'll talk about auto racing and why it is so important to have a drag strip back over here on Long Island, a permanent one on Long Island. And also the fun side of it too, because it was a panel discussion that introduced me to the drag strip folks. And as luck would have it, last year they let me announce. I was able to be out there one day announcing the races, and I just had a great time. All these things give me the inspiration to have a great time doing it and to share the stuff with you. Where does it start? Maybe it starts by making my bed in the morning. Maybe it starts by going through some challenge where I saw the light and realized something had to happen. That's my side of it. What's yours? What is your triggering moment? What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning to go out there and better yourself and help other people better themselves? Love to hear that story. Keep doing it. That's what it is. If you need some chat with somebody to make that happen, do it. Just chat with whomever it is that you need to chat with. Start with making your bed. Something simple and make every day count. And when you're doing it, speak well, speak often, and live inspired. Have an absolutely fantastic day.